Most humans have what is known as an inner monologue. We're all afraid to be left alone alongside the voice of our thoughts. For it can be a voice of doubt, a voice of self-deprecation and withering self-destruction. This is a story of someone who could never escape that voice. For no matter where they go, that voice will follow them, even until the very end. This story is about Edward Mordake, commonly called Edward Mordake. He was born in the 19th century, an Englishman heir to a noble peerage. A peerage is a legal system of assorted noble ranks in a vast number of countries. These ranks you may have heard before, such as Duke, or the subsidiary title, the Marquis. This would make Edward an English nobleman. Aside from his title of noble blood, Edward was known locally for his looks. Friends, family, and colleagues would say his face resembled Antinous in reference to him being handsome, but always wearing a stone face. Antinous was a Greek man that was revered by all for his graceful looks, and was deified by the order of Roman Emperor Hadrian. Many statues have been made of Antinous in honor of his deification, so you may have seen reference before. Edward Mordake was born into success and wealth, with the facial features of what man called a Greek god. You'd think he felt the world was at his fingertips. But Edward was no ordinary human. Edward was cursed at birth. Not literally, but metaphorically. Cursed to be closer to his inner voice than any person should be. You see, Edward Mordake was born with a second face on the back of his head. The face resembled the emotionless visage of a woman. It was like a hideous mask of a human, said to have every sign of intelligence, much like a sentient malignant tumor. The face would peek its eyes open to follow spectators. Even if its eyes were closed, they could be seen creeping under its thin eyelids. The face would constantly twitch its mouth, as if it were speaking gibberish. The face was known to sneer when Edward was happy, and when others felt joy around him, it would whimper. When Edward was sad and wallowing in misery, the face would smile and even let out breaths that resembled snickering. Although no audible voice could be heard by others, Edward swore it spoke to him, saying that the face would whisper horrible, hateful things to him as he tried to sleep, claiming he was tossing and turning all night, losing rest as the face needed no sleep. The sleep deprivation proved to be too much as the years went by. Traveling all over the UK to the finest doctors, with limited resources and general lack of advanced medical procedure, no doctor would touch it. Feeling hopeless and at a loss, Edward began to grow silent and acted as a recluse. The constant torment by the face caused Edward to go into isolation, denying his hereditary peerage and abandoning his title of nobility completely. He actively avoided people, including his own family and friends, and would hardly touch food or water. Eventually, he was put under careful watch by two physicians who monitored him and assisted him in his day-to-day living. One day, Edward somehow acquired poison and killed himself, where he would leave behind a letter. The letter was a last request to have his demon face removed and destroyed before his burial. It read, Please, I beg of you, destroy this foul face, lest it continues its dreadful whisperings in my grave. At his own request, he was buried in a desolate wasteland of an area, without stone or legend to mark his grave. I suppose at the end of the day, perhaps Edward Mordake wanted to leave as himself. his own person, his own identity. Even if it was just to himself in his last moments. Maybe he wanted to feel that one day he would be his own body, his own person, in his own place. We can only hope that one stone-faced man found peace enough to smile now. Hopefully, without the bane and torment of the demon face.